Well, it's been a while. I have been in a slump of social things, not really wanting to really post anything. But I'm scrolling a lot and watching a lot, just not wanting to post. So I'm back. It's been a couple weeks, and I just wanted to kind of check in and show you what I've been reading and this past weekend of reading, and then also show you some awesome book mail that I've gotten. So here we go. All right, so as you can see, I have read a lot of books for the month of October so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And it's only the 17th, so I'm doing pretty good. I'll kind of give a little quick recap. I read Horror Store by, is it Grady? Grady Hendrix, and I chose this because I read the Best Friend's Exorcism, and so I wanted to read more of their books, because he is. I've just been craving horror, and these are the kind of horror I've been looking for, like kind of gross. So yeah, this was kind of gross. It took place in an IKEA-ish store, and I mean, super spooky and weird. That's all I can say. Enjoyed it though. And then I read a thriller. Well, these aren't in any order. One of Us is Next. That's a sequel to One of Us is Lying. Loved One of Us is Lying. It's very like Breakfast Club, whodunit kind of book, and One of Us is Next was another good one. Still always love the original first, but I did enjoy One of Us is Next, and I listened to that one as an audiobook, and it was really well done. Also another audiobook was Rain Is Not My Indian Name. That was by Cynthia Leitich Smith, and I don't know, I doubt I said the middle name right, but it was actually published in 2001, but kind of had a re-release, and it was one of the Libro FM books for teachers, and so I listened to it. It was a really great read on just a lot of different topics, heritage, who you are, identity, friendship, grief, family, tons of stuff. I also read 2 novels in verse, Alone and Garvey in the Dark. And Alone is a reread. It's kind of a comp to my book that I'm working on, and so I reread it with a writer's lens. And then Garvey in the Dark is a sequel to one of my favorite books by Nikki Grimes, Garvey's Choice. And it was a pleasant book about COVID and living through that, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. Graphic novel I read was Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. That one was really good, more mature, very on the YA side, but it was really good. Very real about relationships and the struggle with love, young love, and any love. Scatter of Light is by Melinda Lowe, and is a book, a companion to Last Night at the Telegraph Club, and I really enjoyed A Scatter of Light. The First to Die at the End just came out. Flew through that book. It's the prequel to They Both Die at the End. Highly recommend. Also mature, young adult, but oh man, books that make you think and you won't forget. No Filter and Other Lies was a superb YA book about body issues and just social media and physical appearances. Spot on. I loved it. Important book. A really fun romance was from Little Tokyo with Love. It was a cute little kind of an adventure to find her long lost mother, and um, it was just a lot of fun. But in port, it had good heart to it as well. Like a Love Story, another amazing book, but hard. A lot of tough topics, especially with AIDS, and so I would definitely for more mature audiences. But another important book to read, a picture book I read that I absolutely adored was Diwali in My New Home, a great book about moving and still celebrating and also sharing cultures. I loved the neighborhood in this book. Really awesome picture book. And then another heavy book and verse was The Door of No Return. It's a historical fiction by one of my favorite verse authors, Kwame Alexander. It had great rhythm, great storytelling. Um, it is about the slave trade in Africa, and it's a trilogy or duology. It's a series of some kind. So it was very good, but need something light and fun afterward. So I'm still reading the Bit About Books Fall Reading Challenge. I've turned everything black and white here that I haven't read yet, and to put the full color on when I have read it. So the only one I finished is Garvey in the Dark. I'm currently working on Tilter Smith and hoping to start The Sacrifice maybe, because it looks pretty spooky and that's the time of year, so why not? Some other books I'm reading, Moonwalking is another book and verse I'm studying for my own story, and Ichiro is another graphic novel. I've been kind of on a kick for those. The Ghoul of Windy Down Vale is a really good spooky middle grade that I'm enjoying. Keeper of the Lost Cities, a student told me I had to read it, and every year I have students who want me to read this, so I finally did it, and it's easy to get sucked into. I'm really liking it. The X-Hex is hilarious. It's an adult, I guess rom-com, but magic, and it's adorable, and it's funny and hilarious. Monsters Born and Made, I hope to start listening to as an audiobook soon after I finish City of Girls. And then I'm also reading the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, also by Grady Hendrix, because I'm kind of on that kick right now. So there you go. Currently reading Alone by Megan E. Freeman, and it's a novel in verse. So it looks, just lost my bookmark. Looks like that, and it's a dystopian novel in verse, which is really cool. It's the first I've read like this. I've actually read this before. I'm reading it again as part of my writing group, my critique group. We're reading books and, going through them, marking things we notice, and then using them as writing, help. And since I'm writing a dystopian verse and novel, this is actually one of my comp titles, and so I've really been trying to pay attention to this book. So we're meeting tomorrow, so I'm going to finish this book and then read the other one that we are talking about, which is Moonwalking. This is by Zetta Elliott and Lynn Miller Lockman, and this one is also a novel in verse. A little bit different style, more shape poems, and also it's a dual perspective. So we're reading it because it's dual perspective and verse. And it's more of a historical fiction, takes place in the 80s book. So my goal today is to finish these two. I have my, hold on, let's see if I can show you. I have a reading buddy. Oh, no, you can stay under there. Oh, hey girl, you don't have to go. All right, so let's get reading. All right, so it's Sunday and I have been able to do some reading. I read last night as well, quite a bit. I finished Alone last night by Megan E. Freeman. I worked on Moonwalking and read some more this morning. I'm only halfway finished, but it's a reread. And I met with my group and talked about it. And, you know, something I love about both of those novels, it was kind of cool to read them together because there are two different kinds of verse novels. Alone is very much, I guess, a typical verse novel in that I don't know how to explain it. It's a verse novel, but it's dystopian, so very unlike other verse novels that I've read. I'm stretching right now because I'm getting ready to bike. So it was different in that sense, and it was just one character, basically the whole story. And Moonwalking is more visually verse in that it's a lot of shape poems and a lot of different kinds of poems and different styles and visually very poetic. So I guess that makes sense. So anyway, it was kind of cool to read both of those and see different styles of verse novels. And then it was also dual point of view, so that was cool. Two authors as well, co-authors. So, but I took a break after talking to my group from reading Moonwalking, but I am going to use both to help me with my own writing because I like poems. I like shape poems. I like playing with different kinds of poems that visually look interesting, but also the way that the author told Alone is kind of my style, I feel like, in that dystopian, lonely, a lot of internal thoughts. It's more of a plot-driven story. But this morning I started this because I got it last year around this time and then didn't read it. So I thought, well, this is perfect for Halloween. I guess it's a romance witch book. And it's really funny. Definitely an adult read, but hilarious. And so I'm enjoying that. I am about a third of the way through, and I've been cracking up. Something is just about to happen. So I'm going to read it while I ride my bike because I have to multitask. So here we go. So the past few weeks, I've acquired quite a bit of book mail, and one of the best ones came in this lovely box. I spent a whole bunch of Scholastic points, so I'm quite excited. All right, let's just get started. first off is my book of the month for October came. I got two because why not? I got Hester, which really intrigued me. And it's oh my goodness, I lost. Nathaniel Hawthorne is a character, and he's haunted by his family's role in the Salem witch trials, and young seamstress Isabel Gamble is in here. And anyway, I think it's inspired by the iconic heroine of the Scarlet Letter. So, a young immigrant woman grapples with the legacy of witchcraft and the horrors of slavery, and learns that America's ideas of freedom and liberty often fall short of their promise. So, I'm really excited about this book. Here's the bookmark this month. These are also my favorite part. I put my shelf first. I really do. And then I got Velvet Was the Night. Sylvia Moreno Garcia is actually becoming a favorite of mine. She's coming to an area near me. I don't think I'm going to get to go see her, but it's inspired me to buy all of her books. So I'm excited about this one. I love the cover. Not that I love smoking, but I just love the aesthetic. I love the font and the glasses, and I like the coloring, and I'm excited. Then a pre-order I got. 2 pre-orders I received. 2 of my favorite authors. Kayla Rivera, CC Rios, the second book, and The King of Fears. Great book for fantasy. Love her. And then Kwame Alexander, one of my all-time favorite authors. And this is The Door of No Return, novel in verse. So there are those. All right. So I believe, okay, we'll continue with the books that I purchased. So in my Scholastic box, I got the first book, They Both Die at the End, because I got the prequel, so I needed the first one. This I have not read yet, Beneath the Wide Silk Sky. It's a book about Pearl Harbor and the fury towards Japanese Americans and the family that the discrimination this family faces. So I really enjoy reading books about the Japanese internment camps. I don't enjoy them, but I like to learn about that. And so that's why I was drawn to it. Another one is This Is Not a Drill. Another book that I got in my Scholastic is This Is Not a Drill. This is a book that's told all through text messages. It's by K.A. Holt, who is a phenomenal verse writer as well. So I always like to check out her books. And so I'm really excited for this one. It says it's for ages 8 through 12. It is about an intruder in a school. So kind of trigger warning there. But I have a feeling it's going to be really good. Another one that I haven't read is Bad Boy. It's a memoir by Walter Dean Myers. So it's growing up in Harlem in the 40s and 50s. And so I'm really excited to read this. I haven't read enough of his work, so that'll get me started. I'm kind of wanting to read the Leigh Bardugo's series again, Six of Crows and Shadow and Bone. I need to look up the order to read them. Forgot what it was, but these 2 series and then the Darkling prequel graphic novel I'm really excited for. So I went ahead and got the first 2 of these 2 series. Another 2 that I haven't read yet that I purchased are Sweet and Sour. This is by Debbie Machiko Florence. She wrote Keep It Together, Kiko Carter. Adorable and amazing book. Just full of heart. Like, just beautiful stories. Funny, real, middle school books. So I have a feeling this one will be just like that, and I'm excited. Another one is The title alone sells it for me. It's the end of the world, and I'm in my bathing suit. Justin A. Reynolds. So I'm excited for this book. I honestly don't even know what it's about. Let's see. 12-year-old Eddie Gordon Holloway has concocted the most genius plan ever to avoid his least favorite chore, the dreaded laundry. If he wears every item of clothing in his wardrobe, summer will be halfway over before he has to do laundry. But on the day of the highly anticipated beach bash, Eddie ends up grounded until he can get his clothes clean. While left home alone to do his laundry, the power goes out mid-cycle. With his first load of laundry soaking wet and the rest still filthy, Eddie sets out to explore the seemingly empty neighborhood in just his swim trunks and flip-flops. As he meets up with other neighborhood kids to find out what happened, they realize that their families aren't coming back anytime soon. And as night falls, the crew realizes they aren't just the only people left in the neighborhood, they might be the only people left anywhere. That sounds great. I'm excited. Okay, so that's the last of the books that I have read or have bought. Now, here are some ARCs that I've received from publishers and authors. So the first one is Lark Ascending, and this one was sent to me by Hatchet Books, and it is a story of survival and hope set in the not-too-distant future about a young man forced to flee the United States and seek refuge across the Atlantic. So it says, for readers of novels such as Station 11, which I love, The Dog Stars and Migrations, unforgettable story of friendship, family, and healing. So I'm excited for this one. The cover is really cool. It's hard to see. It almost makes it look like 3D, but I like the coloring. Another ARC I received is The Haley Mysteries, The Missing Jewels by Haley LeBlanc. This is a book for middle grade readers 8 and up. It's part of a series, and it's about a TV show with a young detective and her crime-solving friends, but this time they're in a real-life mystery. And another one is Somewhere Sisters, a story of adoption, identity, and the meaning of family. This is about identical twins, Isabella and Ha, who were born in Vietnam and raised on opposite sides of the world, each knowing little about each other's existence until they were reunited as teenagers. So adoption stories always intrigue me. This one being like separated at birth kind of thing really stuck out to me, so I'm excited. Another kind of dystopian, Izzy at the End of the World. K.A. Reynolds writes fantastic world building books, and so I'm excited about this one. It's Last Kids on Earth meets Margaret Peterson Haddix, so I can already tell it's going to be popular with the kids. And it says, ever since Izzy Wilder's mom died, she's wanted life to feel normal. She plays video games with her little sister, helps her grandparents around the house, and takes care of her best dog, Akka. But losing her mom is far from normal, and for Izzy, who is autistic, it feels like the end of the world. And this is an Own Voices book. K.A. Reynolds also was diagnosed with autism. And yeah, it says an epic adventure filled with nail-biting suspense, unexpected allies. So I'm really excited. I love this cover. I love it. Okay, and then just got this one. Let's see. Oh, this was one I purchased. Mars. These are a fun series by Stacy McAnulty. Okay, The Other Side of the River by Alda P. Dobbs. She also wrote Barefoot Dreams. And this is a story of one girl's quest for a better life in a new country. So she escaped the terror of Mexican Revolution to come to America. But the country that promises... Oh, now that they are safe, her family can begin again in this country that promises so much. But there are a lot of struggles in America. So I'm excited about this one. And then Inley and the Buskin Blues by Jenny Liu is a book, also middle grade. that 12-year-old Inley Wu Lewis needs to go to band camp this summer. It'll help him follow the footsteps of his dad, a musician who died when Inley was too young to remember him. The camp is too expensive. And so, something about someone drops a winning scratch-off lottery ticket into his tip box. He thinks it's the answer to all his problems. But he'll still have to face teenage thieves, his disgruntled best friend, a rogue pet pig, and his own family if he wants to achieve his dreams. It sounds like a lot of fun. Another one, a collection of essays inciting you. I'm really excited about the title, Inciting You. He also wrote the Book of Delights, so I'm excited for this one. Some uplifting essays. A Breath of Mischief by Marcy Kate Connolly is another middle grade book by Source Books, and it's a fantasy and adventure with danger and magic. And then The Town with No Mirrors is another middle grade, and there's no such word as ugly or beautiful in the town of Gladder Hill. Zaylee has never seen her own face. She's never seen her reflection or a photo of herself or even a drawing. Cameras and mirrors are forbidden here. It's why everyone's happier. Nobody talks about anyone else's appearance. You're not supposed to even think about what other people look like or what you look like, but Zaylee does. So, it looks like she goes beyond the gates of her town and has a chance to see if what she's been taught about the outside world is true and search for the mother she barely remembers. Is she prepared for the truth? This sounds really awesome and like it has some good messages, so excited for that. Okay, that's my book mail. Really, oh my goodness, so many books. But thank you everyone for sending these to me, and I'm really excited to add them to my shelves and to share them with readers and to share them with you. So thank you. And thanks for watching. I know it was kind of a long video to get caught up, and I'll see you later. Hopefully with not in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I hope you have some good reading time. Let me know in the comments what you've been reading and if you like the video. Thanks.